I want to welcome you back to Mo Talk, who's Sports and Mo. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share. Yo, welcome back, man. Let's get right to it. 85-year-old Smokey Robinson is now trending in the news for SA. That's right, 85-year-old Smokey Robinson. I'm going to be honest with you, I did not see this one coming. This one here came right out of the left field on me. I had to go Google it to make sure that it was true. Smokey is like a pillar in our community. He's a Motown artist dating all the way back. He's been doing his craft for a long time. And in my opinion, Smokey Robinson is a musical genius. But yeah, his accusers are identified as Jane Doe's, Jane Doe number 1, Jane Doe number 2, Jane Doe number 3, and Jane Doe number 4. And he is being accused of some wicked stuff. I am not going to lie. Now, I don't know Smokey. Neither do I know any of the Jane Does. I cannot vouch for any of their opinions. Only thing about Smokey Robinson that I know is that he has given us some great music over the years. One of my favorite songs is Cruising, right? That's about the only thing that I know. I would like to say that I hope that what is about to come out on Smokey and what we're hearing, I'm really praying that it is not true, but I don't know. But we're going to go through the press conference. We're going to listen to the press conference tonight. But there was something that a reporter asked that I felt like needed to be highlighted. So I snatched it out of the press conference to make sure that we dealt with it. And here it is. Check this out.
Charges will they file complaints with the police as well so that they can investigate this as a criminal matter?
We have not been contacted by the district attorney's office yet. Obviously, we're more than happy to cooperate as best we can.
Does a police report though have to be filed by the women in order for the DA to then proceed?
Well, again, no police reports have been filed by our clients as of yet, given their fear of having done so.
But where do you stand on that? Do you want your clients to file a police report now that they've retained you as their lawyer?
I think that's something that we need to discuss with our clients before we cross that path.
Because based on the disturbing allegations, don't you feel like this is something that law enforcement should investigate?
Well, I do think so. Yes, I do.
Yeah, those are very great questions, especially the one where he asked, would you advise your clients to go to the authorities now that they have attained you to be their attorney and you know the nature of the accusations that they are accusing? I feel like as an attorney, that the very first thing that you need to tell your clients to do is that we need to go to the attorneys on this, because if what you are telling me is true, Smokey got issues. Smokey needs to be taken off of the streets, right? I don't understand, and maybe it's just the way that I think, but I feel like before individuals, whether it's male or female, before you can take a matter to civil court and ask for money, that especially in the nature of this case, of these 6 SAs that he is accused of, I feel like there has to be a police report already filed. I feel like the grand jury has to look at the case and determine if it warrants an indictment. And if it warrants an indictment, I feel that the individual need to already have been arrested and processed and arraigned and a bond set, if there is a bond, before we can move forward to civil and you're seeking monetary gains. One of the dumbest statements that I heard in that clip that we just listened to was, no, we haven't been contacted by the DA at this point. at this moment because of the fear. So you telling me you are afraid to go to the authorities after what this guy has been doing to you that you claim, but you can go and find you an attorney and sue for $50 million. Make it make sense. Now, as I stated, Smokey has been around for a long time. Motown singer, one of the great voices of all time, one of the premier songwriters of all time. And they are about to paint an ugly picture on Smokey. And this is what they're about to try to make Smokey look like.
We believe that Mr. Robinson is a serial and sick rapist that must be stopped.
And in my opinion, if you feel like he must be stopped, the only way that he could be stopped is that you get him off of the streets. Again, I'm not saying that Smokey is innocent. I don't know. I don't know what be going on in the mind of people. But I do know that if these women have been handled in the way that they are claiming that they are handled, I don't think that money would be the first thing that they'll be looking for. They would be looking for this dude to suffer. Because what they're claiming that he has done is horrific. And that's what we're about to get into. I didn't see this coming. $50 million essay by 4 individuals that expanded over a period of time, I want to say from 2006 all the way up to 2004. So let's get into this press conference. Just to pause here, these are the individuals. This is Jane Doe 1 through 3. Jane Doe number 4 is there virtually. But yeah, this is all over the place. Look, man, Jane Doe number 1 and maybe 3 or 1 and 3 over here. They both masked up and they look elderly. And then you got this little young girl right here, right? All over the place, man. I mean, I guess you could say that Smokey didn't have a preference. Looking at this here, man, get him in here and we're going to see what it do. Him and his wife. That's the one thing, too, that I forgot to bring up, that it's not just Smokey that is being sued. It is also his wife, Frances. She is also a part of this lawsuit.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming here today. My name is John Harris, and this is my partner, Herbert Hayden, with the firm of Harris & Hayden. 3 of our 4 clients are present here today. They've been identified as Jane Does. There's 1 appearing remotely, who you can probably see on the screen. Also is Miss Guzman, who's interpreting for us today. This is to announce that earlier today in Los Angeles Superior Court, we filed a complaint against William Smokey Robinson Jr. and his spouse, Frances Robinson. The principal causes of action against Mr. Robinson, in particular, are sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment. Obviously, these ladies are identified in the lawsuit as Does, Jane Does 1 through 4, to protect their privacy, since the lawsuit involves sexual misconduct of the worst sort. We're seeking damages of $50 million. Obviously, no amount of money can compensate these women for what Mr. Robinson subjected them to. But given the gravity of Mr. Robinson's despicable and reprehensible misconduct that is further detailed in the complaint, this amount is clearly warranted. Our four clients have a common thread. They're Hispanic women who were employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage. As low-wage workers in vulnerable positions, they lack the resources and options necessary to protect themselves from sexual assaults throughout their tenure as employees for the Robinsons. Let me briefly summarize each of their individual claims. I repeat, I will not describe the details of the sexual assaults and rapes because they're too graphic and disturbing for this news conference. But you can read them in the complaints that we have provided with many of you today. Let's talk about Jane Doe number 1. She worked for the Robinsons for a little over a year, from January 2023 to February 24. Mr. Robinson first sexually assaulted and raped her in March of 23, as detailed in the complaint. What he would do was summons her to his blue bedroom, which you'll probably be hearing about later on. After having just showered, he would come out of the adjoining bathroom naked and proceed to force her to have sex with him against her will. He sexually assaulted and raped her in this manner 7 times. She quit in February 2024 because she could no longer endure these sexual assaults. Jane Doe number 2. She worked for the Robinsons from May 2014 to February 2020. Smokey Robinson's modus operandi was somewhat different with her. He would ask her to meet him in areas in the home where there were no cameras. There were 2 such places or areas in their Chatsworth home, the garage and the laundry room. When she would meet him at this location, he would immediately begin to sexually assault and rape her, causing her excruciating pain. He sexually assaulted and raped her in this manner 23 times. She was forced to resign because she, too, could no longer endure Mr. Robinson's sexual assaults. Jane Doe number 3. She worked for the Robinsons as a housekeeper from February 2012 to April 2024. Her story is quite similar to the others. Mr. Robinson would call her into his blue bedroom where he would sexually assault and rape her. This occurred approximately 20 times. And like the others, she quit in April of 2024 due to the repeated sexual assaults against her. Jane Doe number 4. She worked the longest as the housekeeper for the Robinsons, from October 20, 2006 to April 2024. He raped her in 3 of their homes, namely the Chatsworth home, the Las Vegas home, and the Bell Canyon homes. He had a preoccupation of fondling her breasts and touching her all over her body against her will. She too quit in April of 2024. The obvious question that one will ask, and I suspect most will, why didn't they report Robinson's criminal misconduct to law enforcement or go public before now? As I said before, these women were all low-wage earners living from paycheck to paycheck. They all feared missing a payday and not being able to pay their rent or buy food for their families. And also, Smokey's Robinson celebrity status intimidated them and all made them feel powerless. I want to add that these 4 women were afraid of shame, familial humiliation, and embarrassment. The stigma that still exists in some cultures that unfortunately blames a rape victim for the assault perpetrated against them. And having to tell their husband and children of these despicable acts against them left them overwhelmed with shame and embarrassment. So throughout their dreadful experiences with Mr. Robinson, all 4 women remained silent because many of them worked at the same time. Too embarrassed to reveal their assaults by Mr. Robinson to each other. Once they broke their silence, an avalanche of emotions began to flow between them. Hence, they're all here today. These courageous 4 women have collectively decided to come forward and share their experiences of being sexually assaulted by Mr. Smokey Robinson and stand up for their rights, as well as the rights of other women. Particularly those that may be victimized by him in the future. We believe that Mr. Robinson is a serial and sick rapist that must be stopped. We further believe that these 4 women's testimony as to Mr. Robinson's sexual assaults and battery against each of them will be unassailable and compelling. Our clients, these 4 courageous women, want and demand justice for themselves, and the filing of this lawsuit is the first step of their journey to achieve that objective. Thank you.
Yeah, so there you heard it. They put it out there, man. A few things that I took from this is this. Look, Jane Doe, number 1, I think she worked for Smokey the shortest amount of time. She had just started in January of 2023, and she survived Smokey for a little over a year because she quit in 2024. She said that Smokey would come out of the shower butterball naked. And once he was out of the shower, he would call her into the bedroom and lock the door and begin sexually assaulting her. But Jane Doe number 2 and Jane Doe number 3, these are the 2 that really get me. Jane Doe number 2, she worked for Smokey from May of 2014 to May of 2020. If I'm doing my math right, that is what? 14, that's 6 years, man. Right? That's 6 years. And she said that she was assaulted at least 23 times on 23 different occasions. Now think about this. And according to the attorney, they had husbands, right? So how are you keeping this to yourself, not sharing this with your husband? And if you are sharing this with your husband, you would think that there would be some type of smoke went on in the household of Smokey Robinson, right? I know if it had been my wife came and told me that this was going on, you would be hearing about this story in a whole different manner than what we are. But 23 times for 6 years. And she said that he would immediately grab her and begin to penetrate her vajayjay with his fingers, causing excruciating pain. How can you bring yourself to work for 6 years knowing that these things are about to happen to you? The same way you found that job, I believe that you probably would have been able to find another. 6 years is a long time. And Jane Doe number 2 also says that he would enjoy pleasuring himself and ejaculating on her. Look, no, it's hard for me to believe that out of 6 years, 23 different occasions, we talking about an 85-year-old man, Smokey, frail, real frail, people, that it's hard for me to believe that this was not consensual. Now, again, I'm not judging. I'm not saying anybody is lying. And I'm not saying, that Smokey is not guilty. I'm just talking from my opinions, from a guy on the outside looking in and reading these accusations. Is hard. 6 years, 23 different occasions, and you got up and you went to work every day knowing that this is what you was going to have to be facing. The same thing with Jane Doe number 3 from 2012 to 2024. That's 12 years, people. This is 12 years. And she said that she was repeatedly raped at least 20 times. Nah, that's hard to believe. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I really hate that Smokey in his late years is about to go through this, especially if it is not true. Especially if it is not true. I'm praying that this is just a money grab. It is going to be proven that it's a money grab. And again, I don't understand how you can say that this man has sexually assaulted you, SA'd you at least 23 times, and you have been repeatedly raped over 20 times, and he would leave his DNA all over you, and you would get up and you would still come to work day after day. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I hate this for Smokey. I haven't looked into the Byron Scott thing yet. I'm going to look into that. But yeah, so you guys, y'all tell me what y'all think about it. I'm, just giving an opinion. I don't know. Just my opinion. I do call BS. Now, I don't think that every time that these things happen that the women are lying and that the men are innocent or vice versa. No, I don't. It's just the nature of this, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just, It's just hard to believe that someone, that anybody could take that type of abuse for so long and not do nothing about it. Again, Smokey is frail. And Smokey is not as powerful, so powerful that you would be afraid to go turn him in. You know, he ain't like a Warren Buffett or you know what I'm saying, or I'm trying to think of somebody else that is old as he is, or what's the dude name? Or Joe Biden. We talking Smokey Robinson. The last song that he made was Game Banking. Have you heard that? He should have left that in the studio. But y'all get at me. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I think it's a money grab. But we're going to definitely see. Till next time, this has been Mo Talk. I want to welcome you back to Mo Talk, who is Sports and Mo. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share.